assign some values to the instance variable that is inside of this animal class, animal name. So when I say instance variable, this means that this animal name is going to be specific for each instance or object that we create from this animal class. So what does that mean? Let's go to main class. So here we created an object that is called lion, right? I can create another animal. We don't have only lions as animals. We have cats, we have tigers, we have birds, we have elephants. So for example, I want to create an instance actually of type animal. I want to create an instance of type animal, and I want to call that instance tiger. So I want to create a tiger from this blueprint animal. So I can actually say animal. So notice that I am actually inside the curly braces of this main method. So now I can say animal here, and I put a space here. So the name of the variable that I am going to create is going to be tiger, right? Assignment operator. So now I am going to create the actual object or the actual instance of type animal. So new, right? New, and then I put the animal class name here, and then I put a pair of parentheses. In this way, we are creating the actual object of type animal, and we are assigning it to this tiger variable, which is of type animal. So now this tiger holds this instance of type animal that we created here. So now we have two instances of type animal. The first one is this one, which is actually lion, and the second one is this one, tiger. So now let's output the animal name of this tiger to the console. So notice that it is called instance variable. So this means that that variable animal name is going to be copied for each instance that we create from this animal class. So if I want to, for example, output the value of the animal name to the console, I can say console dot write line, and inside the parentheses I can refer to the name of this tiger variable dot, and I can actually access the methods, the public methods that we have inside the animal class. The first one is get animal name, and the second one is set animal name. So let's first call get animal name. Let's call the get animal name method on this tiger instance. So get animal, and then put a pair of parentheses and at the end of the method name, and then put a semicolon at the end of your statement. So now if I run our project now, so debug, start without debugging. So you can see that it just only outputted this my lion, but we don't have any value for this animal, for this tiger animal name. Why? Because we did not specify a value for the instance variable animal name for this tiger instance, and that's why it is called instance variable. This, let's go to animal class. You can see this variable, right? Animal name. This animal name or these methods here, you can see this animal name is only actually is copied for each instance that we create from this animal name, animal class actually. So when we actually call set animal name on a specific instance, that set animal name is going to manipulate the instance variable animal name for that specific instance of type animal class. So if I actually go inside this main class here, I can actually say tiger dot set animal name, and I can put a pair of parentheses. I can put a pair of two double quotes here. Inside the quotes, I can say the name of my object, the name of my instance is going to be my tiger, semicolon, right? And now I can output the value of the animal name of this tiger instance to the console. So here I can say console dot write line, and I put a pair of parentheses, and then I can refer to the name of this variable tiger dot get animal name, and then I put a pair of parentheses here, and finally I put a semicolon at the end of my statement, right? So let's run our application now. So at the top, just click on debug, and then click on start without debugging. So now you can see this value, my tiger. So that's why it is called instance variable. Instance variable means that this variable that we have inside this animal class, this animal name, is going to be copied for each instance that we create from this animal class. So we can have, for example, lion, we can have tiger, we can have elephant, we can have leopard, we can have panther, we can have cat. So you can actually create those objects here, and you can manipulate the instance variables of those instances, of those objects of type animal here. So in fact, that's an assignment for you to do it. And so make sure to create an object for each animal that we have, okay, and manipulate these methods, call the set name, set animal name, call the get animal name in order to see the results. So I think that's enough for this tutorial. And one last point that I want to talk about is that inside this animal class, I told you that for classes that we actually create a variable or an instance, the default value is going to be null, right? So what happens for simple types like integers, floats, or those primitive data types? I'll talk more about those types later, but those, for example, integer, if you create an instance variable of type integer, the default value is going to be 0. Or if you create a variable of type boolean, the default value is going to be actually false. So that was the point that I wanted to talk about instance variables. So if you have any questions about the concepts that I taught you in this lesson, please post a discussion in the course, and then I'll do my best to answer all of your questions. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.